Welcome. My name is Thomas. I'm here to share in this video the question I have. If you are self-employed, there's some things you need to have in place already. Over the years, me being in the industry of tax preparation and taxation, I've ran into hundreds to thousands of people who claim to be in business but didn't have these simple things in place already. So if you already being in business and you say you have a business, you want to have these bare minimum things in place for your business. You want to pattern your business after businesses that you already go to, businesses you already admire and you look up to, regardless of your business size and how long you've been in business. You want to have these things in place for your business. So when it comes to that, the basic minimum things you want to have in place is you want to have a EIN number that you're going to do business under. You don't want to do business under your social. And if you're a sole proprietor, which is the simplest form of ownership, you can definitely do business under your social, but we do recommendations that you use an employer identification number to separate your business with that number versus you doing business under your social along with everything else you do under your social. So you want to definitely separate the two. The second thing we advise you to do is to definitely have a business account in place, because you got to be able to separate the income you got coming in, uh, business versus personal income. Personal income is working a job. You know what I'm saying? So if you're working a job and you got a business, you want to have a business account for your business and a personal account for your personal activities. And so those are some of the things that people don't even have in place that they should have in place. Another thing you want to have in place is a payment processor where you can collect debit and credit cards for your business. That way you don't have to inconvenience the customer with trying to do business with you. So one of the things about doing business is you want to make the customer experience one real simple, where they can come in, see what they like, find what they like, and be able to purchase it with a debit or credit card, which makes their buying experience much more enjoyable than them having to not be able to make that purchase because you can't accept debit and credit cards. And I'm speaking from personal experience because I've been there and done that when it comes to that type of situation. So you definitely want to have a payment process in place so you don't have to leave no money on the table by not being able to set debit and credit cards, because I lost a whole lot of money over the years by not having a debit and credit card uh, payment process in place to be able to accept those type of payments. So you definitely want to have that in place. And there's a lot of different ones to choose from. And if you don't know which ones to go with, or you're not familiar with any of it, you got two options. You can do the free method where you can go out there and research this stuff for yourself, or you can get with me and do a one-on-one coaching call where I will walk you through everything you need to have and put in place for your business that you might not already have inside your business. And so, like I said, the simplest stuff you need to have is an employee identification number. And if you're doing business if you're doing business in another name other than your own, then you need a sole name certificate or official name certificate. Those are the interchangeable names you might hear that's going to allow you to go get a bank account, a business bank account like that with the business name on it. And like I say, all this information that you need to have, you want to use all that. That's going to help you to get the business account. You're going to use that same information with the payment processor you're going to use, where you can accept debit and credit cards from clients who trying to do business with you. You want to be able to understand your record keeping requirements, that you have to figure out what method you're going to use to keep track of income and expenses. Are you going to use a manual method where you're going to simply have a notebook or a journal where you're going to make these entries of the income and expenses that you have inside your business? Or are you going to use software to keep track of your income versus expenses? So these are some of the basic things you need to have in place for your business already. And if you're not familiar with these things, you don't understand these things, then you need to reach out to someone or do your research on the things you need to have in place for your business that's going to give you more credibility as a business owner. And so that's some of the basic stuff that I cover with my self-employed and small business clients who do business with me for their tax preparation needs. So if you don't have these things in place, go out and make them happen. Go out and get it done. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science, but it's just some things you need to have in place that's going to give certain types of people who want to do business with you feel more comfortable with doing business with you because you had these things in place. You have You can accept debit and credit cards. You can look into even doing e-checks where you can take a check, but not the physical check, but you'll take a digital check. So you want to have all these different things put in place because you want to make the customer experience the most simple and enjoyable experience they can have with doing business with you. Because if you're gonna make the customer experience difficult, you're gonna lose that customer, and they're not gonna come back. Because if they come to you once or twice, and the experience of doing business with you is difficult and frustrating, you're gonna lose that customer. So we want to have these very simple things put in place for your business that's gonna help you inside your business to attract more clients. And so that's some of the basic stuff that you need to put in place. And so you got a couple of options. You can go out there and do your own research. You can Google this stuff, and it's going to give you some information on what to do. And you got to ask yourself, are you confident in going to do it yourself? Or are you going to reach out and find someone who you can pay that's going to assist you in making it happen? So those are some of the things I do inside my business to generate additional income streams other than tax preparation fees, other than my coaching program. Have other services that I provide that helps me generate additional income that I discuss with my coaching clients when it comes to them starting a tax preparation business. So, like I say, you want to have your employer identification number created. You're either going to start out as a sole proprietor, which is a free option where you can go to irs.gov and you can fill out the online version of the SS4 application that's going to allow you to apply for the employer's identification number. Or if you decide you want to incorporate and become an LLC right now, then that's a state filing fee that's based on the state you live in. So every state filing fee is going to be different. And so if you want to start out incorporated, then you just have to do the research on what your state charges for that. And then, like I said, you got to ask yourself, are you going to do this process for yourself, or are you going to hire someone to do this for you? Because if you can do it for yourself, it's going to be cheaper than you have to pay someone to go make these things happen for yourself. With me, I did all these things myself when I first got started because I didn't realize that it was someone who I can go pay to help me do this, because at the time I was so excited about having my own business and being in a career of tax preparation and taxation that I just went out here and made it all happen for myself. And of course, with anything you start that you're new in, you're going to have to learn as you go. And so that's one of the benefits that I bring with my coaching program is for women who looking to start their own tax business. I take away all the guesswork. I give you targeted training. I give you simple ways to get started and to grow your business and become profitable without you having to go all over the city to make it happen. And so if you're looking to start your own tax preparation business and you've been procrastinating and you've been putting it off for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? Don't let the COVID, don't let the world's issues be the reason why you don't take action. Because the one thing you don't want to have is regret. You don't want to walk around talking about if I would have, shoulda, because that's not the type of life you want to live. So if you want to be a business owner and you want to start a tax preparation business, then the simplest way to get started is attend my free workshop that's going to be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central. Then again the following week on the 9th. And I probably will do this workshop all the way through the month of December, going into the new year and the new tax season. And so these are the things that you need to have in place if you're self-employed: employee identification number, doing business certificate, business accounts, payment processor, record keeping requirements. You're either going to do manual or you're going to use software because you want to keep track of the income you got coming in. And so based on what type of business model you have, it's going to determine how you're going to keep track of income versus expenses. Now, for tax preparation services, the software keeps track of all the clients we did and all the money we made. So you got the software that's going to keep track of that for you, which is really cool. But if you decide you in an industry like janitorial or housekeeping or bookkeeping or some other service-based business, you got to decide what way you're going to keep track of your income versus expenses. And based on the volume you have when it comes to that, it's going to determine how you want to keep track of that. So if you're just getting started, say if you're a barber and you're just getting started, you have no clientele and you just putting the word out, you're passing out your business cards, and you're starting to pick up clients here and there, and say 6 months down the road, you got 30 faithful clients that come get their haircut. So with 30 faithful clients, you can simply keep a journal with their names, their numbers, what type of cuts you do, and how much you charge in the journal each and every month, because every month represent every sheet represents a month. And so that's the simplest way to keep track of your income and your expenses when it comes to being self-employed. Now, once you get to the point where you having 300 or 400 clients, then you definitely want to have a software-based system that's going to keep track of all that activity, because the activity is going to be what you want to keep track of. Because once you lose track of your activity, it's going to be hard for you to keep track of your income versus your expenses. And so one of the simplest ways we used to teach our clients who were just getting started was to get you a simple notebook or a journal. This month here represents January. And so we would have a number each sheet for each month, which represents 12 sheets, 12 months. And based on your activity, one month might have 2 sheets filled, another month might have 3 sheets filled, another month might only have 1, based on your activity, because businesses fluctuate. Certain businesses get more business during a certain time of the season than other business. So when it comes to, like, say, the hospitality field, they normally start booming right after tax season. So going into April, May, June, and during the summer months, if you're in the hospitality field or basically a service-based business like a barber, beautician, nail technician, those types of business models will fluctuate. They'll get more business in certain months than they would in other months. But the whole key to it all is you still got to keep track of the income and the expenses that you're paying out. Because if you don't keep track of that, you don't have a way to find out if you made any money, if you made a profit. And so you want to know how much money you make. And then if you keep in track of that like you should, then you can have something to refer back to for the following year. So you can look back in January of 2022 and say, well, last year in January 2021, we made 12,700. And so we want to at least match 12,700 for 2022. And so that gives you something to shoot for. That gives you some goals when it comes to your financial responsibilities as far as the type of profits and money you want to make inside your business. So if you're self-employed and you're a small business owner and you don't have your employee identification number, you don't have a business account, you don't have a personal account, you don't have a payment processor where you can collect debit and credit cards, you don't have a way to keep track of the income versus expenses, these are the basic bare minimum things all businesses should have. You want to have those things. And then on top of that, don't be working with people where you hire independent contractors or might have a couple of employees on staff. Then that's a whole nother level to what you need to have in place to keep track of that. So you got to ask yourself, what are you going to do to keep track of the different moving pieces inside your business as being a self-employed solopreneur? Because when I first got started, I started with 2 locations. I hired me like 5 or 6 people, and we had to have a way to keep track of those people when it came to them getting paid. So I outsourced that. I used ADP. ADP kept track of the people I had to pay each and every year. And every year that made it much simpler than me trying to keep track of it, because it was hard for me to keep track of my own income and expenses because I'm on the flying line doing 16 hours a day inside the office preparing tax returns for clients. And so I can't sit here at the desk and do tax returns for 16 hours, 6 days a week, and then try to keep track of what's going on inside my business as far as behind the scenes. So I had to hire someone to help me with that. So I had an administrative assistant who helped me with all the behind the scenes work, because I'm on the firing line doing the actual work. And so when you're a self-employed solopreneur who doing all the work, really, it's difficult to be able to effectively take care of all the other moving pieces you need to do unless you confident in your ability to make that happen. If you're not, you got to try to generate some income to try to hire someone to do certain aspects. Because when it comes to the money you want to make, you got to have a way of figuring out how much money I made in January, how much money we made in February, how much money we made in March, in April, and May, and June, July. And then if you stay in business long enough, you have some history to look at. You have some data to refer to say, well, okay, like I said, this time last year we made 12,700 for the month of January, and we want to at least match that at the bare minimum, if not do more in the following year in January. And so those are the type of things you are able to look at once you have data that collected inside your business on how well you're doing when it comes to the income and the expenses that you have inside your business. And so if you need help with that, and it might not be have anything to do with you starting a tax preparation business, but if you need help with having your basic business structure and moving pieces put in place for yourself, and you don't have the confidence and ability to do it for yourself, then reach out to me and let's see if we're a good fit for working with another, so I can help you put those things in place. Because it's a sad day for you to walk around telling people you got your own business, you don't have a business account, you don't have a personal account, you can't collect debit cards, you can't process debit or credit cards, or you can't even realize how much money you made each and every month because you have nothing in place to keep track of those things. So these are the things you want to have as a business owner, regardless of your business structure, regardless if it's a one-man show, two-man show, three-man show. It don't matter how many people you got working with you. You want to have these bare minimum things put in place. You want to have these things put in place to the point where when people come to you who ain't gonna get a refund big enough to have it taken out of their check, you want to be able to still get paid, and you don't want to have to you don't have to go through the third party banking system to make sure that happens. You want to have your own payment processors in place that you can control, that you can deal with when you get ready. So I got clients who live in different states who they pay me over the phone with their credit card. That's the beautiful thing to be able to do when you got out of state clients. If you don't have a way to collect those fees with debit and credit card transactions, then you can't do that. So if you need more information on how to start your own tax preparation business, if you went to my personal profile page, I put in my email address where you can email me so I can send you back over some information on what it's going to take for you to be successful in this industry with real world information and training. And then tomorrow I'm doing a live workshop that starts at 2:00 on this Facebook page. So if you want to attend that, if you can't attend it, it's cool. I'm going to record it. And if you want to get back with me later and check it out, you can. But the whole bottom line is, if you're truly looking to start a tax business and you want to make it happen, don't let the fact that this is the last Monday of the year stop you from getting started, stop you from taking action. Because I got people I'm working with right now who can still make money in 2022 who did the things they need to do by having their stuff at least put in play. So when it comes to your EFIN, that's the e-file providers application, 2 fingerprint cards. When it comes to the business structure, we go through all that first so we can take that information, process it, and put it on your e-file providers application. We take the information that we created when it came to your business structure and your business name and all that. We use that same information to put an application with the payment process that's going to help you to be able to accept debit and credit cards. So there's so many different moving pieces to having a business that if you're not comfortable and confident with yourself, you can reach out to me and let me talk with you and see if I can help you make that happen. And so when it's all said and done, this workshop will start tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central. And like I said, I left my email address so I can send you some stuff out. So if you go to my page, you can see my email address so I can send you some stuff out. And I'll see you in my next video.